Okay, do you feel that TADs have been abused as a redevelopment tool? And what would you do to ensure that that there was more oversight?
I wouldn't say per se that the TADs were abused. I'm not a strong proponent of TADs because I think they take money from the Board of Education and the other. I think we have needs there and it diverts some money other ways. But the ones I think were done in Marietta were still done within the law. If you look at Meeting Place, you look at Johnny Walker, where the Johnny Walker Homes was, you look at Hedgewood, I think we were starting to get out of the ground, and it wasn't the TADs per se that stopped them, it was the economy. But TADs are too, but I think also what happened, you know, when I had the privilege of the Georgia House, was TADs I think had more chance of being abusive until we took away eminent domain. TADs coupled with eminent domain were probably what scared me the most. That, you know, what brought up the Supreme Court case, both in the state of Georgia and the U.S. Supreme Court, was where they take property and flip it just to another developer. I mean, to a developer and deprive people of their property rights. So if they go on the market and it is truly a distressed area, then I think TADs can best be served. An oversight committee, I think, is always the public. Always have a transparency in government when you're doing it. I think our Marietta Redevelopment Corporation and the City Council just need to tell people they're going on. I think the Opens Records Act should be followed, and when you're negotiating with the taxpayers' money, even though it's a TAD, it's still the taxpayers' money, and we need to respect that. Thank you.
And Bill?
The TADs have had a perfect record until the last 10 years, or I should say in the last 3 or 4 years. And Bill Dunaway did a good job of trying to sell them several years back. And I think there's a good value to it. We just need to be looking at more control of our banking industry in this nation. And I think that's the real issue. And also we may need to tighten up on the TADs also. The TADs have proven themselves to be very, very valuable. It's just we need a little bit more control on these issues. Thank you.
Chris?
I guess I've best heard, and I think this was an editorial in the MDJ, TAD's kind of referred to as welfare for the landed gentry. I guess that my problem with TADs is that we freeze a tax base and then we take any increment beyond that and pay that towards paying down bonds that we might have. They don't, I guess the problem with freezing those taxes is they don't really protect the city from inflation. They do take those dollars away from the Board of Education, who, if you look at the numbers, provide overwhelmingly like 75% at least of the dollars. That's money that's not going to our schools that would have otherwise with this redevelopment. And I think that ultimately it sells the city short. You're saying that this would never have happened if we hadn't done this, if government hadn't gotten involved. And I think that's kind of the wrong message to send sometimes. I think the real message we should take home from this was that the market was actually a little bit overinflated, and it was trying to send us signals. It was trying to tell us that, yeah, developers don't want to come in because things are too expensive. So what do we have to do? We have to bring the price down for them so they can still make enough money to come in. You know, I guess the problem that I have there is that I don't think that would have been true long term. If we had waited a little bit of time, let this market reset itself, I think that now would probably be the prime time for a lot of these developers to come in and actually make these changes, and we wouldn't have had to actually finance these things with tax dollars that we could be seeing as a result of that. We just needed to be patient instead of waiting for this instant gratification that we seem to be after all the time.
Okay, thank you.